Nice.
Oh no, oh no!
Zero chances, no way.
Let's move it back a little more. I just gotta say thanks to Holly Performance, Eastwood Tools, Casey Lights, Raceline Wheels, High Caliber Karting and Entertainment, and Scrub Blade Wipers. You guys rule. Thank you for supporting this channel and these crazy projects. If you are a company out there and you have some products that you think might go well with this kind of build, let me know. We'll get you part of the program. Well, my camera decided to shut off right when we were lowering down, or getting ready to set the body onto the chassis. Since I'm waiting for the adapter plate for the transmission, I figured I could get the body in here and then I could make body mounts while I'm waiting for parts. So let's check this thing out. It's looking pretty awesome so far. This is the inside. Cut some of the wheel well out. I think I might have to tub this thing up a little higher. Kind of depends on ride height. So I still got to figure that out. I set a shock in there just to kind of get an idea of where everything was going to land. But it's looking pretty cool. Now the body is centered and ready to start making some body mounts. So I can make the 3 under here right now, and then I'm going to wait for the rear to figure out how I'm going to do the rear bumper and stuff, because maybe I could tie it in to these rear body mounts here off of, you know, the main chassis part. I want to try to make, I've had an idea, I'm going to put the old steel bumpers on here, but I had an idea to put like big rubber blocks on there, so if I hit something with it, it'll move the rubber block a little bit, kind of like a go-kart, you know. I got that idea from the go-karts at High Caliber. They got the big shields on the side with big rubber blocks. I'm like, well, if I did that on the bumpers on this, and I tap something with the bumper, at least it won't bend up, you know, all my tube work and chassis work. Let's take a look at the inside of this thing. Got the big old 18-inch wheel, dude. This thing's huge. It would be fun to just try to run that once. Still got all the leaves in here. Brad says I should leave them. What else we got going on in here? Yeah, so this was all cut out from previous. I did cut more of the back structure out to get it on top of the chassis here. So I'll have to do some tin work in here. I haven't decided yet if I'm just going to cut this whole floor out and redo it. I kind of don't want to do that because I want to utilize the factory body mounts, which go pretty much up to the frame rail here. So maybe, I don't know, we'll see what happens. We'll see how this goes. I'm kind of just swinging that. So once we get the adapter plate, which should be here this week, the transmission over there, I should be able to get this thing mounted up into the car. I don't know, I really want to make a firewall for this, but I really don't feel like spending the time to make a firewall for this because it is really time consuming. But maybe I'll just bite the bullet and do it, just because there's so many holes in it. Like hundreds of holes in this thing. It's kind of crazy. And I also don't know if I'm gonna have to tub this thing out or do the whatever you call it. What am I thinking here? What the hell's the name of that? I don't know. Make that bigger. I can't think of what that's called right now, but yeah, pretty stoked with how this looks. It actually looks way sicker than what I was thinking. So right now the body, I was going for like 3 or 4 inches of ride height. That's my goal. So right now the body is sitting about an inch lower than the frame rail there. So I think that's working out pretty good. I did have one concern of how easy it's going to be to change tires on this. Obviously I'm changing tires a lot. And if I can't get that wheel out of there with this thing jacked up, that's going to be an issue. So hopefully when I jack this up, it drops down far enough to be able to get a wheel off. I don't know what I'm going to do if the wheel doesn't come off this thing in a somewhat easy fashion. So I guess that will just have to be determined. I'm going to leave the bullet holes. Those are staying. All the cracked glass is staying. Maybe one day I'll put a windshield in it, but it does have a crack in it. I mean, it's really not going to bother me, but we're going to leave her looking the way she is. Maybe we'll add a little bit of patina to it. Put a flat clear over it or something, I'm not sure yet. But for now, the beauty of this is that I don't have to touch it. Just get it all mechanically working, and then I can drive it. So, and after building the Cybertruck, not having to build a body seems like it's gonna go extremely fast compared to that project. So yeah, here we are. Got the body up on there. Oh, check out this old 55 Chevy. Pretty cool. This is actually one I did the interior on. Let's check it out real quick. So they brought it to me, and I lasered and painted the whole interior with a two-tone dash. This thing's awesome. My buddy Andy Lynn has been working on this truck. He's done a really good job. Oh, I wish the hood was open. Hold on, let me pop the hood so I can show you guys the inside of this thing real quick. But yeah, my friend Andy Lynn's been doing all the mechanical work on this. Does a really good job. I mean, everything is so nice and professional. But we painted the engine bay too, so to color match the inside of the dash. Man, this is just a sweet truck. I love it. So we got a bunch of old patina things in here. Patina drift car, patina resto mod. I just finished up a patina truck for Jerry, which is pretty sick. Once I got the body set on it, I got really motivated. You know, I just, once you see it come to life, it's like, all right, let's switch the throttle on this thing. I've been waiting for this package for years. This is my new Eastwood 4x4 plasma table, and I'm pretty excited. What do you think, Rye? You excited too? Yeah? Apparently I was wrong. This is a bunch of Jeep parts. This is the plasma table. Let's put it together. Right now I'm making crush sleeves for the frame rail. So the frame rail bolts the subframe right here. So I'm going to run a bolt all the way through there, and I don't want the tube to crush, but these are just a tiny bit too big to go in to the 1-inch hole on that. So I'm just going to run them on the lathe here just to make them a tad bit smaller here. All right, let's see if she fits. Oh, just barely. I think we gotta run another pass on it. Dang it. I thought for sure that was gonna be good. This mini lathe has actually been super awesome. I have used this thing so much, it doesn't owe me nothing. She should fit now. Let's try it out here. Go to your home, go to your home. Yes! So the front one we're going to leave sticking out a 1/4 inch to mount into the subframe, because the front hole is exactly the same size as this 1-inch hole. So that'll really help keep the frame and the subframe from shifting around. So that's our mission here. Alright, I gotta do this, and I gotta do 4 more of these bad boys. Tell you what, this saw doesn't owe me nothing either. I've had this thing for like 10 years, dude. It's cut so much stuff. It's kind of crazy that she's still rolling, but hey. Whoops, pay attention. I was too busy watching that and my freaking tool hit the lathe. God dang it. All right, we got our crushed sleeves in our frame rail now. So this is the rear one and this is the front one, and this one is going to stick down, protrude out the bottom so that it sleeves into the top of the subframe here. So it's gonna countersink into that, which will help keep this whole system lined up. And then this is just the size of the 3/4 inch bolt. So that'll keep itself really nice, but it's nice having that sleeve drop out of the bottom of the frame rail into there. So yeah, dudes. Tyson was over here the other day. We're looking at this thing and it's so wide. That's why the tire's on it. It's like, it's just not gonna work. So I'm actually gonna have to narrow all the suspension like 3 inches to 4 inches possibly. So one of the projects for the plasma table, once I get a little bit better at Fusions 360, is to make new tabs here to sink these in. I'm gonna cut into the subframe to be able to scoot it in as far as I can to narrow up the front end, because this thing's like kind of ridiculously wide. I honestly never really liked the way it looked on the Z. That was just like too much, but yeah, it's just what we're working with. So we're gonna have to fix her up right. Actually, I think we're just gonna even weld this one because it's gotta sit flush, so. Be all right. Let's see if these bolts go in there. Drop in, drop in. Come on, come on. That's not what I wanted there. I should loosen this up. So I cut about 4 inches out of the subframe. Right here is where my mounting hole is going to be. I actually raised the hole up a little bit to adjust the roll center to help with the car being lower. So to raise the lower control arm up a little bit. So we're just going to plate all this in. This is all whack anyways. These are all broke off. It's not even connected. So we're going to strengthen this up and then put our own mounting tab right there. So. Hi, Rye. You out scooting in the rain? All right, subframe's all cut. I think I'll be able to use a plasma table for some of this here, which will be fun. So here's where we're at. So we're 3 inches more narrower than we were, which puts me inside of the wheel lip at least. I'll have to raise this all up to get it mounted to the body, but here's where we're sitting. Wheelbase is looking good. This is the front wheel is actually going to go forward probably another inch once everything's mounted up. This was our old bolt location where it landed here, so we're in 3 inches on each side. And the Eastwood Versa cut 4x4 plasma table came in really handy here. Look at these tabs. This is 3/16 steel here. Man, that's awesome. That saved so much time. I mean, honestly, that would have taken hours to where that took probably about half hour to do. So It's midnight, well, 11:30, 11:40. I'm going to bed. See you guys later. We're out. So I got the front cross member pretty much fixed up. So we narrowed the car in the front 3 inches and did a bunch of plate work to make things a little stronger. And I feel comfortable enough to weld it up. So we put an inner plate in here, ran our 2 tabs, and then a plate. This was all cracked anyways, and we had to make some room for the radius arm here. Same with the other side, so we're gonna get this stuff welded up, and we're gonna call it a weekend. We also got the rear subframe solid bushings in, solid mount bushings. I had to weld these ones in because they didn't press in, they just went in and fell out. So, and they had a little bit of slop in it, and I just didn't want those things wiggling around. So I welded the rear ones, and then the fronts are pressed in. So overall, pretty good weekend. Those were super annoying to get out. Those were terrible. But yeah, here we are. Let's get this thing welded up. We'll call it a weekend. This welding hoodie from Blue Demon Welding Products. Dude, this thing is so sick. It's like Kevlar and stuff. The sleeves are Kevlar. I forget what material this is, but you won't get burned. And you got a nice hoodie. It's sweet. Hopefully I don't hose myself welding this thing up. I usually am very strict about not welding anything until it's completely done, but I'm pretty confident that this should be good to go. But usually that's whenever I hose myself, because I'm like, yeah, dude, I won't have any problems. And then I'll have to cut it all back out for some reason. Here we go. We're gonna get this welded up. Ow, ow, ow. My shoe's on fire. Jesus Christ, right in my shoe. Oh, that got me freaking in my heel, dude. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.